Daf Kuf Yotes Amud Beis will begin Daf Kuf Yotes Amud Aleph right at the bottom of the Amud. Tanan also we learned in the Mishnah Sukkah Malkum Shenog, where the place where the minig is Lichbal Yichbal. When they double the halal, there was a minig that they had that each pasuk of the halal they repeated it. So where the Malkum is to double it Lichbal Yichbal, Lifshaid Yifshaid. Where it is not to double it, to say it straight, to say it just one pasuk without repeating it, that's the way you should do it. Levarach acharav yivarach. Where the minig is to make the bracha afterwards, Malach Muhulal Batishbachai, as the Miri says, then that's what he should do. Akol k'minig Medina. In every case, he should follow the minig of the Medina, the local custom. Amar Abaye, that we say that it's totally on minig, the bracha is totally on a minig, lo yishan v'lalach, that's only the bracha after the halal. Aval lefonav mitzvah levarach, but the bracha before the halal is not totally on a minig, that is a mitzvah to make the bracha. The Amar of Yehuda Shmuel called ha-mitzvahs mevarach aleim oivel asiyos. All of the mitzvahs, you have to make a birchas ha-mitzvah, bracha, immediately prior to the performance of the mitzvah. So here it's a mitzvah to recite the halal. You have to make it's a mitzvah to make the bracha before the halal. My mashman where do we see that the lashon and we saying oivel asiyosam, that oivel means lakdume, it means to precede it, to make the bracha before the mitzvah. Amar of Nachbar Yitzchak, we see it from the pasuk. The see vayaras achimatz derech hakikar vayavras akushi, that Achimatz ran. He went to be mavasir Dovid Melech, the psura that Avshalom was died. So it says that he ran on the kikar by the plain. Vayavar es akushi, he passed in front of the kushi. He went before him, meaning he was there for running in front before the kushi. So it's a lotion of beforehand. It says he passed before him. It says Yaakov Avinu went before his wives, so he was in front of them. Some say from here, the king will go before them. The Mashiach, when he leads Kol Yisrael back from the Golus, Hashem Barishim and Shem Terher. The Rival explains that the bracha is Oiver Lasiyosam. It doesn't say Kaidim Lasiyosam. Why does it use this unusual lotion of Oiver Lasiyosam? Because Kaidim means before, but it doesn't mean immediately preceding. Here, what one indicates is that you make the bracha immediately prior to the performance of the mitzvah. Tanya, Rabbi Kaifel Badvar. Rabbi would repeat the psukim. So Rabbi did it in a way that he repeated, meaning from the end of the halal, the way the Rashbam is learning, it's not the entire halal. He would, some of the psukim, meaning the psukim at the end, from, when we say at the end, from Baruch haba b'shem Hashem, those psukim at the end of the halal, he would repeat it. Rabbi Lazar ben Parata, Maisa Badvorim, he would add to what Rabbi repeated, and he would repeat from Oidcha. My Maisiv, Amar Abaya, Maisiv Lichbal Ma'oidcha Lamata. He would be Maisiv add on to repeat from Oidcha Ulamata. So those are the psukim that he would repeat, and Rashbam explains because, as we learned previously, that those were said by the Yishai and Dovid and his brothers and Shmuel. So therefore, because they were said specifically by them, there he repeated these psukim were repeated. Dorish Rav Avira Zimin Amar Lemishmei Deravami Zimin Amar Lemishmei Deravasi. My Dirsiv, the pasuk says V'yigdal Hayelad V'yigoma. So it says by Yitzchak Avinu that he grew and he was weaned. He did not have to be nursed anymore. So the pasuk says that Ram Avinu made a suda, he made a feast. So it's repetitious. It says V'yigdal Hayelad V'yigoma, and then it says he made a suda on the day, so we darshan that this is a reference to another Suda that will be in the future. B'yom higoma, we darshan as a gemilas chasorim, that the Kadosh Baruch Hu will make a Suda, he will be Goimel Chesed for the Yeled, for the descendants of Yitzchak. So therefore, he's also the Kodesh Baruch Hu Lasa Surah Tzaddik. Also, Lava in the future, he'll make a Surah of the Tzaddikim. B'yayim she'igim l'chasel l'zara shel Yitzchak, on the day that he bestows his kindness on the descendants of Yitzchak. After they eat and drink, so they give the Kaishel Bracha to Avraham Avinu to make the Bracha. Avraham Avinu will say to them, I can't make the Bracha because I had a child, Yishmael, who was not right for this, so therefore I'm not right to make the Bracha because I had a child who was not a tzaddik. Then they said to Yitzchak, you make the Bracha. He says, I had a son Esav, I'm not right to make the bracha. Make the bracha on take the bracha at the kaish for birchas hamazon. Yaakov will say, I can't because I married two sisters when they were both alive. And the Torah in the future will answer this. So therefore, it's something that in the future will be a Dover Yisra. I can't make the bracha. They say to Moshe ben Tolavark. He says, I'm not right to make the bracha. I wasn't zeicha to come into Eretz Yisrael. Not in my lifetime and not after my death. I was not zeicha. Yeshua Tolavarach. They say to Yeshua, make the bracha. Yeshua says, I'm not right to make the bracha because I was not zeicha to a son. Yeshua ben Nun. So many say that we're not goyres this, rather that what it says right afterwards, Nun benoi Yeshua benoi, the pasuk in Divrei Yomim, when it traces the descendants of Ephraim, and it ends with Nun benoi, Yeshua benoi, and Yeshua is the son, and it doesn't go further, it doesn't go weiter. So therefore, that shows you that the last one in the line of the lineage was Yeshua, that he didn't have a son. Dovid, they say to Dovid Melech to Levorech, make the bracha. He says, I'll make the bracha, and it's fitting for me to make the bracha. Ani avorech v'lino levorech. Shenemar kais Yeshua sesa of Hashem Hashem. I'll raise up the cup, my cup. I'll raise up the cup of the Yeshua of the salvation, and Shem Hashem. I'll make the bracha Shem Hashem. So the Mishnah ain't maftir achar pesach afi kaimen. We don't conclude the Seder after eating the Korban Pesach. So ein maftirin achar Pesach. We don't conclude the Seder after eating the Korban Pesach with afikaimen, with an afikaimen. So we'll see what this means. The Gemara will discuss what is the meaning of this afikaimen. My afikaimen, so the Gemara, my afikaimen. What is an afikaimen? Amar Rav shlei akru mechabur lechabur. It says afikaimen is made up of afiku mani, means to take out afiku manaychu, take out your kelim, meaning we don't eat in two separate places. The Korban Pesach, once you start to eat the Korban Pesach, then you can't eat it in two different places. So therefore, Rav says what it means to say is to ensure that we don't eat the Korban Pesach in two different places. Therefore, we say that you cannot eat anything in two different places. So, you can't eat in another place. Now, even if it's not the Korban Pesach, you can't eat even anything in another place. Gzera, you might come to eat the Korban Pesach in a different place. Now, according to this Pshat and Rav, there's no Isser in eating a dessert, something after the Korban Pesach, in the same place. According to Rav, the Isser is eating something else, eating anything in two different places. Gzera, that you might come to eat the Korban Pesach in two different places, but to eat in the same place, even eating something after the Korban Pesach, there would be no Isser. Ushmula Amar, he says, no, a different shot. He says, it means a dessert. So you can't eat, for an example, that what was a common dessert? That mushrooms, he used to eat mushrooms, and pigeons, young pigeons for Abba, it was for a Rav, he used to eat, that's what he used to eat for dessert. So according to this, the Yisr is to eat a dessert. Even if it's in the same place, it's a different reasoning. You can't eat a dessert. What is the reason not to eat the dessert? So one is because the Korban Pesach has to be eaten al seiva. You have to eat the Korban Pesach al seiva. That means not to eat it on an empty stomach. So it should be the Korban Pesach, therefore should be eaten on a full stomach. Therefore, we don't want you to eat anything after the Korban Pesach to ensure that whatever you're going to eat is going to eat before, and you won't eat the Korban Pesach on an empty stomach and then eat afterwards. You'll eat beforehand and not eat the Korban Pesach on an empty stomach. Taisus says another pshat is that we want the taste of the Korban Pesach to remain in your mouth. The Yerushalmi is that we want you to eat on a full stomach so that you don't come to break the bone of the Korban Pesach. It's an isser to break the bone. We want to make sure that you're not hungry, you don't come to break the bone. So, according to Shmuel, there's an isser in eating after the Korban Pesach. V'Rav Chanina bar Shila v'Rav Yochanan Amar ki goin Tamorim v'Kloyes. So, we're going to give another example of a dessert of Tamorim. It means like dates and Kloyes, toasted grain, or walnuts. He gave a different explanation for a different example, rather, of what the dessert is, the different types of dessert. According to the Ran, there is an nafkamina over here. It's not just simply another example of different desserts. There's an nafkamina that in the first category is something that can be mevatel the tam of the afikaimen. The latter category, according to Shmuel, would not be mevatel the tam of the afikaimen. But according to Rav Chanina bar Shila Rav Yochanan, no, even the latter category, even the nuts, etc., the toasted grain, that's also something that we are concerned with, and we say mevatel the tam of the afikaimen. Amar Rav Amar Shmuel ein maftir achar matzah afikaimen. Similarly, just like we have the halacha that ein maftir achar pesach afikaimen, nowadays we don't have the Korban Pesach. We eat the matzah at the end of the meal. At the end of the meal, we eat the matzah. Similarly, we don't eat any dessert after that last matzah. The machlekes rishonim, according to the Rashbam, according to Rashi, where actually that matzah, which we call the afikaimen, that matzah is actually what we are yoytzu the mitzvah achilas matzah with. It's that matzah that is at the end of the Suda, just like the Korban Pesach is al matzah's morem yachlua, was eaten at the end of the meal when we're al soiva. The matzah that we eat at the end of the meal is what we're yoytzu the mitzvah matzah with. According to the other Rishonim, most Rishonim, the Rosh and the Rambam, he said this is not where yoytzu the matzah with the matzah we eat at the beginning of the Suda. This is zecher for the afikaimen. So this is zecher rather this is a zecher for the Korban Pesach. So this, in any event, we do eat the matzah after the meal, and just as we don't eat the dessert after the Korban Pesach, we don't eat a dessert after this achilas matzah, and which we call afikaimen. But afikaimen really means that you don't eat a dessert or a different place after the eating of the Korban Pesach, and in this case, after the eating of the last of the chila of the matzah. So similarly, we don't eat after the matzah. Tanan, we learned in the Mishnah, Ein maftir achar Pesach avikaimen. It says, Ein maftir achar Pesach avikaimen. So achar Pesach hu deloi, which medayik gets after Pesach, well achar matzah maftir. But it doesn't say anything about the matzah, so therefore it's mashma that you could eat a dessert after this achilas matzah. The Gemara says no. Loi mi boy kamer. It certainly is referring to matzah, but it says Pesach to tell you a chiddush. Loi mi boy kamer. It's telling you not only is it the matzah that you can't eat a dessert after, it's also the Korban Pesach. Why would I think differently? As follows. Lo mi boy kamer. Lo mi boy achar matzah deloi deloi nafesh tamaya. Lo mi boy achar matzah that you can't eat after the matzah deloi nafesh tamaya, because the taste of the matzah is not so strong. So certainly you can't eat any dessert after the matzah. So certainly you can't eat it after that. Avalachar Pesach, but you might have thought that after the Korban Pesach, over there, the nafesh tameh, the loy matzeh avure, that the meat has a strong taste, and you can't remove it so easily. Leslan boy might think it's not a problem. I might think it's not a problem to eat a dessert afterwards. Kamash malah. So it's telling you a chiddush that even after the Korban Pesach, which has a strong taste, you still cannot eat a dessert. But certainly after the matzah, you can. So we understand that if this matzah that we eat at the end of the meal is there for the Korban Pesach, and why you have to have the taste remaining. You can't eat dessert. But according to Rashi and Rashbam, that the reason that this is the mitzvah achilas matzah, so what is the reason that you can't eat a dessert? So again, it's for the similar type of reason that the taste of the mitzvah's matzah should remain. That should be the last taste remaining in your mouth.